Welcome back to the cruise world. Today we're on board the beautiful Venetia, and it's a pleasure to be joined again by our friend Lee Mason. How are you, Lee?
I'm absolutely fantastic. Thrilled to be here and so excited to be back at the cruise world with you all.
Now, for those of you that don't know, we've actually had the pleasure to sit down and interview Lee a couple of times before, and you have a knack for really manifesting your future. When we were on Panorama a couple of years ago, I asked you where you wanted to be, what's the next goal, and you said you wanted to bring out a new ship. And just 1 year later, we sailed with you on the brand new Carnival Celebration that you had just brought out. I asked you again, what's next, Lee? What's next on your bucket list? And you said that you wanted to sail from New York City. Well, my friend, we're on the Venetia. We sailed out of Manhattan, passed by the Statue of Liberty. It was beautiful. How do you feel?
I feel like I made a huge mistake, Mark. I feel like I should have said, I want to win the lottery. I want to be a millionaire. But in all seriousness, it's a dream come true to have been a part of everything so far. To have been selected as the inaugural cruise director of Celebration was another level, really. That being a part of that launch, I get lost for words. Sailing out of New York, mind blowing. So it's all a gift. I feel so lucky.
Now, part of the reason that you wanted to really sail out of New York is because you went to school there. Is that correct?
I did, yeah. My apartment, in fact, was on 44th Street, and Pier 88 is between 48th and 49th. So we're just blocks away from where I made my home for 4 years in that beautiful city.
Oh, wow.
It's so cool.
So you've only been on board Venetia for a very short time, but so far, what do you think of fun Italian style?
Mark, it is stunning. This ship is so beautiful, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I think this could be the most beautiful ship I've ever worked on. It's premium, it's plush, it's decadent. The furnishings, the lighting, I'm obsessed with the lighting. I'm taking notes for one day when I eventually own a home. I'm still a sea gypsy, but one day when I own a home, I'm going to be taking style tips from this gorgeous ship.
Well, you can't go wrong. It is beautiful.
Really, I think it's a callback to the days of the classic Carnival cruise ships when Joe Farkas was designing them. Mm-hmm. I know some people really loved them and others were left with certain questions. But I love the theming. I really do. I think it gives the ship character and a certain individuality that makes it special.
Now, we were able to sail out of Long Beach on the Firenze as well.
Yeah.
And so far with the Firenze and the Venetia, I haven't heard anybody say that they didn't like it. And Stephanie and myself, we love Italy. And we love Florence, which is Firenze, and we love Venice, which is the Venetia. And it really brings us back. It kind of takes us away, especially back in the canal dining room here. There's a full-size gondola, which, just for the record, I wanted to do this interview there, but Lee was a little hesitant about that. But it's just amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. I'm obsessed with this ship. It is stunning. Simply stunning.
So like so many people do, I follow you on the different platforms of social media. You're on X, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. And recently I've noticed something a little bit different about you, but it wasn't until right now that it clicked. You're one of the beards now.
I'm just a small beard, a micro beard, if you will.
But as far as the company goes, we've got some news as well.
Yes. But I grew the beard before. Maybe the beard foreshadowed.
There you go. We just said that you had a knack for this kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe this is what did it. I was promoted to Fleet Cruise Director, so I'll join Mike, Chris, and Erin as a part of the team that are out there supporting the cruise directors and fun squad on our 27 ships at present. But we've got 2 more joining the company out in Australia. We've got 2 more Excel ships coming up, and then a class of ship beyond Excel. So it's going to be a busy time.
So a lot of people don't really know what a fleet cruise director does on a day-to-day basis. Can you fill us in a little bit about what you'll be doing?
Yeah, I mean, I can take a guess because I haven't had my first day at work yet. But in my current role, my interactions with the fleets, it's been invaluable. They're out there as a support network. If I encounter a situation and maybe I just need a sounding board to make sure I'm making the right decisions on things or giving the right responses. They're there. They've got years of experience under their belt. Also, if I'm coaching a team member and I think, hey, this person's got great potential and they could step up and be a cover cruise director or maybe fill in the role on a slightly more permanent basis, I can help to streamline and channel their potential. And vice versa. If there's a team member that's needing that extra support and I'm not sure I've got the skill set to truly help them, I can reach out and say, hi, I'm going to need your help over here, or can you send one of the experienced team over to do a workshop? Because ultimately, I love being the leader of fun. I love sharing information on board, but as a cruise director, the role has got such breadth and depth that I'm also a mentor and a coach to the Fun Squad team, and they are the future generations of cruise directors and entertainment directors, and who knows how far beyond that goes. And that's what's really led me to put in my application and to eventually take this next step in my career to support those that share my passion and share my position.
Well, we've sailed with you several times now and seen you at work and read hundreds, if not thousands, of comments online about other people seeing the same things that we see. So I have no doubts that Carnival made an excellent position and that you're going to do a great job in this new role.
Well, thank you. Thank you. There was a man on Celebration during debarkation and he pulled me aside and it was so sincere. He just said, one day you are going to have to pass this knowledge on, and left. And I was like, wow. And it just resonated. And I think that was the first switch that kind of flipped in my mind that, okay, time moves on and perhaps I need to consider this next step.
Yeah.
So whoever you are, I didn't even get his name. He just pulled me aside, said it to me, scanned his card and walked off the gangway. So if you're watching this, thank you.
So last night we were up on the Lido deck and they had Festa Italiana, which is one of the amazing parties, festivals that they have here on board the Venetia. And after it was over, I looked around and the decorations were being torn down and you were there to the very end. You may have taken the last things back to be put away. And I've been with a lot of great cruise directors, but I don't think that I've ever seen that. And I think that's what's going to set you apart. That's just who you are, right?
Well, it's desperation to not get fired, Mark. If I make myself useful, no. Credit where credit's due. When I took this ship over from Mark Hugh, the inaugural cruise director over here, he was doing a similar thing. So I thought, of course, I'm going to carry on the practices that he'd laid as the foundation of the workflow here. But I do think it's important to be getting your hands dirty, especially as a leader of a team. You have to be there with the team because if not, you're a manager, right? You're sat in your office saying, go do this, go do that. But if you're out there doing this sort of less desirable work, you establish a set of principles and values, and I hopefully bestow them on the teams that I'm a part of. Can I be involved in every setup and every breakdown with a team? No, but I do think it's really important to be out there and to share that workload, because it is the less desirable part of being within the entertainment team. And it's not just cruise directors or the Fun Squad, the cast. The cast wash their own costumes. They maintain their own costumes. I've seen them gluing soles back on their shoes. The technicians do maintenance on their lights and on their cables, and taking down decorations and packing them away is that element of this job. People look at the cruise director and the Fun Squad particularly, and they think, oh, I could do that. Living on a cruise ship, oh, that's so fun. That doesn't look like work. You're on a permanent vacation. And fun takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of preparation, coordination, and that setup and breakdown is a part of that.
And most people don't see that because they just stroll in when it's time for the party, and when the party's over, they're out onto the next thing.
Yeah, and I learned a lot of values from Calvin, who was my entertainment director on the Celebration. I worked with Calvin on Mardi Gras as well. He's now a director of guest operations, so he's helping to coordinate the gangways, the spa, the art auctions, and all of that stuff on our XL class ships. But Calvin was such an advocate of being out there and taking pride in the entertainment spaces, collecting glasses, wiping tables, straightening curtains out. and taking pride. He says, take pride in a pencil at the coffee shops. We've got the daily puzzles. Calvin would go out and make sure not only were the pencils replenished, but they were all the same direction. I don't know how obsessive compulsive that is, but he did. He said to me, Lee, take pride in a pencil. And that lesson translates into so many different facets of the job. So what you've seen in me is just a product of what I've learned from leaders that have inspired me as well.
Well, and I think that lead by example attitude and mentality is one thing that will help you spread that out to the fleet in your new role.
Thank you. I hope so, because I think that's what the company are paying me for.
Now, Lee, I know, because I'm one of them, that a lot of people are going to be saddened that you're not on the ships from week to week, but this is an important step for you. But what I'm curious about is, I know you're going to miss being on the ships in this role week to week too. What are some of the things that you're going to miss most from being a cruise director?
Well, first and foremost, it's going to be this, right? I'm going to step off that pedestal of hyper relevance to our cruisers. Of course, I'm not disappearing. We're going to maintain a friendship, I hope.
Oh, absolutely.
But all of a sudden, I'm not going to be the most relevant person, which is going to affect the level of connection and friendships that I make. When it comes to events on the floor, stuff like Family Feud and the Love and Marriage show, those game shows that really let me be spontaneous and off the cuff, I'm going to miss. I'm really, really, really going to miss those. But I get to celebrate and support the future generation of people that are stepping into that role. And also, who knows, I might be able to fill in and cover.
Every once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Donkey, as many of the cruisers know him, was just out on the Pride. He got to dust off his microphone and get back out there.
Very cool.
So it's not forever, but it's a one small sacrifice to take this next step in my career, and there's so many benefits to stepping into this new role. So I'm really excited about it.
We're excited for you.
Yeah.
Now, there's no shortage of food on board Venetia or any other Carnival cruise ship, but being away from home months at a time, I mean, what are some of the foods or snacks that you miss that you just can't get here on board?
My mom's cooking. It's always your mom's cooking, right? But my mom, she's quite a quirky chef. So she'll make a traditional Sunday roast, an English Sunday roast dinner with like roast chicken and vegetables. But my mom puts on, and please don't judge my mom, she's a wonderful woman. And mom, I love it, never stop doing this. She'll put mushy peas, which I don't think it's an American thing. Do you have mushy peas?
No. However, when we were in London the first time, I had some authentic fish and chips, and there were mushy peas with it, and I liked them.
It's like a pea mashed potato almost, but not. So she'll put these mushy peas to accompany it, and onion rings as well, like battered onion rings, which is highly untraditional. But it's just that little flavor, that little signature that she puts on her dishes at home. My mom's cooking. And then this one's going to be a bit wild, but we've got our local Chinese takeaway at home. And I'm a creature of habit. So I always get that one dish.
What's the dish?
It's a chili chicken. I forget its proper name because my mom orders it. But it's a chili chicken. It's in a sweet sauce. It's a Cantonese style, so a light battered chicken, not like a big crispy chicken ball, a light battered chicken, and I get it with garlic chili fries, or as we call them, chips. Yeah. That's home. That's the taste of home right there, and it's crazy to think that an Asian-inspired dish, I don't know how authentic it is, but an Asian-inspired dish can take me back to a little town in England.
Yeah, that's neat.
Between that and my mom's cooking.
Well, another thing that I know a lot of the crew miss are snacks, and you guys have your own certain snacks that we may not be familiar with in the United States, right?
Yeah, I love Cadbury's chocolate, but Cadbury's chocolate made in England. I'm going to say something highly controversial. I hope this doesn't lose you followers, but the cruise world, American chocolate. Canadian chocolate, it's the middle ground, it's nearly there. But British Cadbury's chocolate is just, it's so, so special. I try my best. I'm trying to wean myself off sweet stuff, candies, chocolates, and sodas, but a bar of Cadbury, straight up dairy milk, or fruit and nut.
Well, I can't help you out there, and I'm not going to help you straying away from the snacks either, because we did bring you something that I think is something that you like. And
Jammy Dodgers.
We got some Jammy Dodgers. What do you think of these?
Have you had one of these?
No, I haven't had one yet. I'm about to.
A Jammy Dodger. This is going to change your life. When we get done filming, we need to get a cup of tea. We need to get a cup of tea so you can dip it. Viewers, this is like a shortbread biscuit sandwich with a layer of what you would call jelly, but it's definitely jam. That's why they're Jammy Dodgers. Did you get these in New York?
No, we actually ordered these. I did
got them online.
I did see that you had that you liked them, which is why I brought these. We couldn't find the Cadbury Milk Fingers. We tried. They wouldn't have got here in time. Can we try one right now?
I would love to try one.
And then we'll go get some with some proper tea.
You're ruining my diet, and I don't care. Oh, these are great.
We'll go ahead and just split
Steph,
one.
you're not even on camera. Steph, get one as well. They're so good. So this is, it's like a sandwich. It's like an Oreo, but so much better.
All right.
There'll be people so mad at me when I said that. Cheers, my friend. So it's going to be a little bit chewy in the middle. If you dunk it in a cup of tea with milk and a sugar, it's going to soften the jam. The trick is to not dunk it for too long because you could have a disaster and it'll all flop and sog and be in the bottom of your cup of tea as a disgusting sediment. But if you get it just right, it's going to change your life.
I like them like this, so I can't wait to try it with the tea.
We could even go international and dip them in a coffee.
I like tea better than coffee, yeah, so we'll do it that way.
Friends, you heard it here first. Mark betraying his fellow countrymen. He likes tea. That's why we get along.
Well, now that we've got some sweets in our bellies, you know what time it is, right?
Quick fire, hot seat.
It's time for the hot seat.
So welcome to the fire.
Lee, what would be the title of your autobiography?
Lost at Sea. I don't know. That just came out.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Happy.
If you could shadow an executive here in Carnival for one day, who would it be?
John Heald.
What's your most embarrassing guilty pleasure song?
Guilty pleasure song. This one always trips me up. Oh, I don't have one. I miss music.
All right, give me a favorite song.
I miss music. Favorite song, what am I listening to? What's it? I love Teddy Swims at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Lose Control.
Can you sing a bit more?
Absolutely not.
What's the world's worst pizza topping?
Mushrooms.
All right, cut the cameras. We're done here.
Disgusting.
If you could live in any other time period, which one would you choose?
Oh, the 20s, inspired by vintage pop. They had a lot of fun.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
Celine Dion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If money was no object, what's the first thing you'd buy?
Cameras. Just cameras.
Yeah, you know I'm the same.
Cameras.
If you were a motivational poster, what would you say?
Wow. That's about positivity. It's about mindset and being happy, leaning into optimism, having your glass half full rather than half empty, because you dictate the weight of the baggage. We all carry baggage. We all have our tests, our challenges, but I truly believe you decide how heavy those bags are and how many of them you pick up. It doesn't mean those problems go away. It just means your day gets a little bit lighter.
What's the funniest movie you've ever seen?
Funniest movie? Whoa.
I know that's another tough one.
I love Jim Carrey. Probably Ace Ventura.
Okay.
classics.
If there were 25 hours in a day, what would you do with the extra hour?
Sleep.
There you go. All right, and we're going to do just some more rapid fire here. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Cats or dog?
Dogs. 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 Dogs.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. Oh, I'm sorry, Christine. That's controversial.
Sweet or savory?
Savory, because I'm a changed man.
Winter or summer?
Winter, because you can always put more clothes on, but if you're too hot, you are too hot.
Sandals or Crocs?
Sandals.
Dine-in or takeout?
Dine-in.
Book or movie?
Oh, movie, because I read to learn. I really struggle with fiction. Movie.
Air guitar or air drums?
I'm a classic man. It's air guitar, but you can't neglect the drums every now and again.
And guacamole or salsa?
Guac.
So a few moments ago, you mentioned that John Heald would be the one that you would like to follow around. Is that something that you would like to do in the future?
We can manifest that one. I'll tell you. Listen, I'll openly say there's a lot of people that come to me and say, Lee, would you want John's job? Would you want to be that brand ambassador one day? You know, he can't go on forever. And I say to them, I'm not rushing into that role or trying to push anybody out of a job that they do so well. There's elements of John's job that I would love, and there's elements of John's job that I quake in fear just at the thought of facing. I'd love to be an adjacent, like a John adjacent role that shares the fun, that shares the news and the developments of what's happening, but maybe doesn't have that open forum of debate or controversial comment. People come at John because they want information, and sometimes people come at John because they want to complain.
Yeah, that's clear.
Yeah, and I don't think my skin's thick enough for the heavier side of that. But if we've got exciting developments or announcements, or maybe in my new role as fleet, I can go around ship to ship and be like, hey, I'm on this ship, it sails from this port, this person is the cruise director, let's take a look at the fun. Maybe I can work myself into a complementary, a harmonious position, and I can start feeding John some content from the ships. And if I can do that, I'd feel like I'm on to that next step. And who knows, one day, if he does say, I'm out, other priorities, or it's just time, maybe that torch will naturally pass over, or maybe it won't, and we'll see where life leads. Yeah.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, Lee, you are active on all forms of social media, and we'll put those links on the screen as well as down in the description. But one of the things I'm curious about, and maybe you are too, is, you know, you're growing an audience on YouTube with your vlogs and your life of a cruise director. How do you see that growing in this new role?
I think there's a lot of potential in my new role, because it's a traveling position, to kind of showcase the fun, to be out there sort of reporting live from the scene, if you will. One week I could be on The Legend, and the next week I could be back here or somewhere else. I think it's going to give me an opportunity to showcase and spotlight the teams and the talents that we have out there. It's going to be a different direction, and maybe I can vlog my travels. Hey, I'm going from point A to point B. I've got a few days in this city while we wait for the ship. I'd love to get some footage of the ships arriving.
Yeah.
Working on board, I never get to capture the ship sailing away. If I did, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
But all the ships arriving into port. So there's so much potential for me. But it is going to take my content, if you will, in a different direction, because I know a lot of people started following me because they want to prepare for their cruise. Mm-hmm. They want to know who I am and what to expect and what's happening. So it is going to take a slight change in course and direction, but I'm really excited about the potential.
Yeah, as am I. I mean, that's one of the things. It's I don't want to say you've been pigeonholed on one cruise ship, but now, like you said, share the fun on many different cruise ships and can really expand what you're doing, because day to day, if you're doing the same itinerary over again and you're on the same ship, you're kind of in a box.
Yeah.
But now we've released Lee and go out and rule the world.
Yeah, really. It was getting a little Groundhog Day-esque when it came to deciding what to record. I'm quite spontaneous when it comes to documentation of my day. There's only so many 80s rock and roll parties that I can film before you're like, okay, Lee, we've seen that. There's only so many times I could pop up at the Build-A-Bear workshop at Sea Party before you're like, give me something else. And when it comes to like the back of house, there are certain limitations.
Yeah.
There's only so much behind the scenes that I can share through my agreements with the company. Everyone wants to see how the sausage is made, but there are certain assurances I have to make to the company that I'm not going to spill future plans or secrets or anything that could compromise our reputation or our standing. So as much as people want that bravo below decks, this is controversial, this person hates that person, the reality TV drama, or, oh, this is all run out. One, I don't believe in potentially compromising our product. I want you to see something that's polished and fun. Does that mean that there's not challenges behind the scenes? I mean, it's life.
Yeah, everywhere.
There always are. But I don't think we should be focusing on that. I think we should be focusing on the positive, the successes, the wins, the excitement, the adventure, because there's too much negativity, controversy, and doom and gloom out there.
And when you go on a Carnival cruise, it's the fun that you're going for, right? So that's what I want to see.
That's it. If you want drama, you can tune into those shows on Bravo and Below Decks, but that's not what I'm serving up. And it's a commitment that I made not only to the company, but to myself as well.
Yeah. Lee, thanks again for joining us. We really love talking to you. And thanks to all of you for joining in and watching us here today. If you have any questions for us or for Lee, pop them down in the comments. We'll be monitoring that. Hit that like button, subscribe for all the best cruise content. And as always, remember,
life is short and cruising is fun.
We'll see you next time.
Here we go. This is a cultural experience.
All right, so what do
I'm going to suggest like maybe a 3-second dunk.
All right.
It's been a while. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Shake it.
It's better.
It just warms everything up, softens it.